Hi, everyone. I am Susan Della Houssaye. Thanks so much for joining. Today, we're going to talk about building your personal brand. I'll give everyone till 12:01 to join, and then we will get started. So I won't keep you all long during your lunch hour. But a little bit about me as I'm the career advisor at Tulane School of Professional Advancement. I also have a background in recruiting. So I was that person who was posting job descriptions, reading resumes, and all that stuff. So if you need any help with career advising, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. So we're going to get started. I'm going to show a video that I really think nails personal branding. And I want to, and after that, we're just going to dive right in and I'm going to show you specific examples of how you can build your personal brand. And I'm using myself as an example, but I think I have some really good examples and it will just give you some imagination into all the things that you can do and even make a list of how you can build your personal brand. So let's get started. Stick with me through this video and then we'll get into specific examples. So here goes.
Whether you realize it or not, you have a personal brand. If I looked you up on Google and didn't find anything about you on the first page of results, that's your personal brand. If I found an out-of-date LinkedIn profile or a bunch of random social media posts, that too is your personal brand. People tend to think about a personal brand as bragging, self-promotion, and all about yourself. But it's actually something much more important. It's your reputation. In other words, it's how people perceive you, your friends, colleagues, or the general public. And it's what people think about you when they hear your name, as well as what people say about you when you're not in the room. In our connected world, every single one of us has a personal brand, whether we like it or not. This is because whenever we engage with people, both in person and online, that's every interaction or everything we post, upload, or comment on, we're creating a reputational narrative about ourselves. Your reputation is already out there. The question is, do you want to be the one who's driving and shaping this story, or do you want chance or algorithms to be doing it for you? I think most people would agree that they want to take control. And what this means is we need to make some very intentional decisions so our brand stays in our hands. Let me walk you through 5 key steps to building a strong personal brand in a way that feels good. First, you need to figure out what your goal is. Let's start by answering a foundational question. What do you want your personal brand to help you accomplish? Are you looking to change jobs or transition into a new industry and you need your brand to reflect a new skill set? Maybe you're looking to get a promotion at your current organization and you need everyone to know all the amazing things that you've accomplished in your career. Or maybe you're launching a new business and you want to build your brand around the products or services that you're offering. Whatever your goal is, write it down and make it specific so that you're working towards a clear outcome. Next, you'll want to get clear on what you want to be known for. In other words, how do you want people to describe you as a professional? Start by answering the question, so what do you do? And I'm not just talking about your job title. Are you a teacher who focuses on social and emotional learning? Or maybe you're a project manager who is reliable and always gets things done on time. Or maybe you're an artist who makes beautiful ceramic pots from natural materials. What you want to do is dig deeper into the what, how, and why behind your work so you can make it concrete and easy to remember. Just make sure to lead with something that doesn't cause confusion. For example, I once coached someone who called herself a death midwife, which no one understood. But when she started introducing herself as a grief counselor who works with families during a time of loss, all of a sudden, everyone got it. If you're stumped, think about how you can stand out from the crowd in your industry. What are the things that make you unique? Are there specific talents and expertise that you've acquired in your career? What do you know more about than most people? Sit down and make a list, and you might start to surprise yourself about all the things you know. Now, let's think about the audience you want to share your personal brand with. The reality is, your personal brand is not about you. It's about the people you want to educate with the skills, knowledge, and value you can provide. Who you decide to focus on should be based on 2 things: the goal of your personal brand and the people who can best benefit from your unique talents and skills. So spend some time thinking about these two questions. Who can most gain from what you have to share? And how exactly can you see yourself helping them? Here's where it all starts to come together. Let's pull all your answers into a single mission statement that describes who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and the transformation you can create in people's lives. Let's take the example of the teacher. My name is Alma, and I'm a third grade teacher who specializes in social and emotional learning. I work with students to teach them the skills for fostering empathy and compassion so they can thrive and contribute to a more caring world. Let's take the project manager. My name is Jennifer, and I'm a project manager for a sustainable fashion company. I work with teams across different departments to plan, organize, and direct innovative marketing campaigns that engage customers while also increasing brand loyalty. Mission statements are going to look wildly different depending on who you are in your career. But whatever your mission statement is, write it down and put it somewhere prominent. You can use it to make decisions about how you speak about yourself when you first meet someone to the communities you want to share it with. Let's start building your personal brand online. There are two key personal branding assets you should think about developing: a personal website and social media. What's so important about a personal website is that it allows you to take full control over your online reputation. It offers the most flexibility in sharing your brand and value to others in a much deeper way than a resume or LinkedIn profile. People want to work with others they like, know, and trust, and your personal website provides you an opportunity to share more about your personality through photos, as well as more about your career and life story. This, in turn, will differentiate you from others in your industry. Social media is also a great way to share your personal brand with the audience you're looking to connect with. However, I suggest trying not to be on every platform. Pick one that aligns with your goals, as well as where your audience spends most of its time. If you're an artist or creative, Instagram is a great fit. If you work in a more corporate environment, LinkedIn is the place you want to be. When posting, focus on being helpful to others. Share interesting articles relevant to your industry, post ideas or opinions that can benefit colleagues, and like or comment on posts shared by the people you follow. The key is to always engage in a way that both reinforces your personal brand while also bringing value to others. Look, I know this may all sound a bit intimidating, but try to think of this branding process as an opportunity for personal growth. It's your chance to dig deeper into who you truly are and who you want to become. This, in turn, will provide you the clarity you need on how you can make your greatest impact in the world.
All right. So I hope you all enjoyed that video. I find it hits the nail on the head and really helpful. So I want to dive in and talk about branding. And as we think about brands, we think about, big name brands like Amazon, Facebook, Apple. And when you're thinking about these things, all these things come in your mind. You're thinking about their logos and everything. So what you want is when you are around classmates, colleagues, online, you want people to think of you in a certain way. So I am a career coach. I also do home organizing, but I promote career coaching. And so you're going to see that by all the things that I've built online. I do think a resume is important. I do think your LinkedIn is important. And now with AI, we can build our own websites in less than an hour. I'll show you mine. And I did build mine in less than an hour. So when you are building your brand, you want to be doing all the things. So, building a website, listening to podcasts, reading books, engaging in conversation, sharing information that you learn. And if you want to start an Instagram or a Facebook page or whatever it is, these are all things that are going to help build your brand. So I built this website with AI on landingsite.com. And it probably took me, I know it's not the best website you've ever seen, but it probably took me less than an hour. And I'm fine with it. I don't need much more than this. It's just telling everyone what I do, who I am, how to connect, a link to my email, a link to my LinkedIn. And it's perfect for me. We do have a portfolio class at Tulane where you can build a much more detailed website. Of course, I change this from time to time, but this is who I am. This is what I do. People don't have a lot of time, and there's not many clicks on here. So you just scroll down, it's a one pager. And I don't even pay for this because I have getlandingsite.com in my URL. So this is just an easy way to have fun and build a website. And if you go to my LinkedIn and you go into my contact information, this is where you can see my website. I'm happy to connect with you all on LinkedIn. I am constantly reposting and liking opportunities for students. And on here, if you go to my website, you can get the link to build your own page with AI for free. And it was so easy. So on your resume, of course, you want to have everything, all of your skills and experience that relate to your passion, to how you want people to see you. Any, of course, education, certifications, experience, and things like that. And LinkedIn is just, you know, you can add so many things on LinkedIn. We're limited with a resume. If you are sticking to a one-page resume, I am okay with the two-page resume, but I want to see two full pages. But on LinkedIn, we can get a little bit more colorful, and just with all the different sections, it's a little bit more fun. Up here, I mean, the most important thing everyone's going to look at, and as a former recruiter, we did have a checklist of things that we looked at when we were hiring people, and we did need to check their LinkedIn. I highly recommend you have a professional headshot and a nice background LinkedIn photo. And as you all know, you can make these really easily on Canva. There's all different designs. If you search for a LinkedIn background photo, you can do a Tulane logo. You can do whatever city you're in. You can do a skyline. So look at someone else's profile that you admire and look at their page. If you aren't interested in being on LinkedIn and building your brand here, some people don't want to be on social media. There are multiple digital business card websites. One is Blank. And so if you meet someone at an event, and you can have, I think, up to two business cards on here for free. So you could have a personal one and a professional one. And when you're at an event, you can just show someone your QR code, and this is how they can connect with you. So Blink is great. There are other ones that you can use. This is just the one that I use. And, on LinkedIn, how do you want people to see you? So I say that, when people copy you, that's flattering, right? So I saw someone come on LinkedIn, someone that I didn't know, and I looked at their profile and they literally copied and pasted my tagline here and put it into theirs. So I guess it's a form of flattery. And I use cool symbols to add in a little pop of color. The other thing that they talked about in the video is, your mission statement, which can be on your resume, it can be on your LinkedIn. And I use AI to write mine. And this is also where I use Cool Symbol, because on LinkedIn, you can't really bold things or, add in, little symbols like this. So I go to Cool Symbol and I copy things, put it in. I use AI to write things, to make things a little bit shorter, because no one wants to read a novel these days. But on here, You'll see everything related to career coaching, and you also want to follow, licenses and certifications. You can add a list of all your classes that you've taken related to the industry that you want to be in. You can add skills, ask people for recommendations, join some organizations. We have great ones at Tulane. And down here, I know it's all the way at the bottom, but companies that you follow say a lot about what industry you're in. Now, I follow everything that's related to all of our areas of study at Tulane. So I'm going to have a mismatch of a bunch of different things, from tech to sports to personal things. So mine might not be the best example, but you can go to someone's profile who's in your industry. And let's say you are interested in a career in sports. Um, the easiest way to build your profile and follow companies that may have opportunities for you is you go to a company where you're like, oh, I'd be interested in working there. And then you look at, the algorithm has pulled all of these places that people also viewed if they looked at careers in sports. And so you can see what all these other places are and start following them, and do deep dives into their websites and see if they're hiring. So this is a really fun way to easily build your profile. And, LinkedIn is great with that. A few other things that I want to mention, we talked about, in the video. You want to be the expert in your industry, right? So that means reading books and listening to podcasts. And I love to promote the Libby app, which is free. If you have a library card, you can connect Tulane Library to Libby, and you can either read books on your phone or listen to the audiobooks, which is awesome. So if you want to focus on a certain industry, start listening to books and listening to podcasts. And then when you're at an event, at a school event, or you're at a dinner with friends, you can bring up things that, to teach them about what you're learning. I also follow people on Instagram and TikTok who are in, my field, who are career coaches, who are recruiters. I mean, I have to keep up with what the recruiters are interested in seeing, all about applicant tracking systems, what they're looking for in candidates. So I follow a bunch of people on social media who are in my industry because I want to learn from them. Job hunting is constantly evolving. So I want to know the latest and greatest. Back in the day, we used to call references. Well, now they're using third party platforms to email references, and references are just filling out a few questions about candidates, and it's just getting sent right back to the recruiter. So these are things that I need to know. So when I'm working with a candidate and they're saying, how do I, let my references know that I put them down? And I always say, and let them know to look out for a phone call. It could be an email, could be a message from a third party platform. So all these things are really important as we're evolving with AI, and the interview process is really changing. A lot of it is being done online by submitting videos, and so that recruiters don't even have to spend time meeting with you. They just ask you to send them a 3-minute video. So you want to get comfortable with, setting up the right background and making, a professional workspace at home. So these are all the things that I learned from recruiters. And so now I can help students, right? And I can help family and friends when they're in that job search process. So think about how you want to be seen and what types of books you should be reading and what podcasts you should be listening to and what platforms and you should be on. And then also who in that industry should you be following? So, in addition to my personal Instagram, I have a separate Instagram where I follow recruiters and other career coaches to learn about my industry. So, you may want to consider not mixing some of your personal social media with your professional. And the earlier you, you know, you have two of those going, the better, just to separate it. And so those are my personal tips for building a brand and also just how to make yourself stand out. It's all about curating things. So a lot of times with students, I'll sit with them on a Zoom for 45 minutes and we'll just go through their LinkedIn and update it and just focus on, adding the classes that they've taken. If they're trying to transition into a new industry, all those, let's say they were in education and now they're trying to be a paralegal. Let's add all those classes, legal writing and research to LinkedIn. So those things pop out to recruiters and they're also getting picked up in algorithms for when people are doing searches for hiring. So, you know, I'm happy to meet with you all to update your LinkedIn, to build that background photo, build your about me section, and anything that you can do to enhance who you want to be. And a lot of us, life doesn't go in a straight line. So not all of our experience is going to be relevant to the person or industry that we're in. It still needs to be on there, but it's just how can we highlight, that LinkedIn background photo can really highlight who you really are or who you really want to be. And so there's just fun ways that you can make certain things pop on your LinkedIn to build your personal brand. And you can even create your own logo, which a lot of our students in our media and design program do, which I think is really fun. And it's definitely memorable when someone creates their own logo. It really stands out. And that's what, when you are in that job process, when you're job searching, it can, leave a mark on a recruiter if you do have your own logo and that's something that they can remember and they'll be like, oh, wait, remember we saw that LinkedIn profile and they had, um, you know, that monogram logo or those birds or whatever it is, that's specific to your industry. When recruiters are looking at tons of resumes and LinkedIn profiles, it's nice to also match those. So if something's on your resume and on your LinkedIn, there's power in repetition for recruiters. Also, if you're in an interview, you can talk about books that you've read for industry, they're industry specific podcasts that you listen to, things that you've learned online, any certifications that you've taken that you can highlight. Those are also really important for building your personal brand. So you want to narrow it down, decide what you're going to focus on, and then, it's somewhat manifesting. You put it out there, you build that LinkedIn background photo or build your blank digital business card and focus on it and things will start to happen for you. So hopefully this was helpful. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat. I'm going to send a recording of this and also links to everything that we talked about on here. And one last thing is also volunteering. So I've volunteered to speak at Dress for Success, Son of a Saint, about career counseling, right? And you never know who's going to be in the room, another volunteer, and things like that. So volunteering is another great way to connect with people when you're trying to build your brand and go and talk about it. Just offer to do it for free. I've spoken at one of the New Orleans public libraries. I've been a moderator for a panel at the library. So just different ways to get your foot in the door. Um, and I'm happy to brainstorm with you on those kinds of things. So someone asked if do you have to pay for your website? And I don't. It's landing site. Is it landingsite.com? Let me check. And I don't. It's my website's free and I'll put it in here. I'll put it in the chat and on here. If you just go to my website, it should have in the URL, just because when I'm seeing it, it doesn't have it, but it should have in the URL, you know, a little bit of advertising because my site's free. And so you can click on that and you can make your own website. It took me 45 minutes, which is like unremarkable. So you all could probably do it a lot quicker than I can. But it was fun to do. And yeah, so let me know. I think I covered mostly everything. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and I will send everything that we discussed in a follow-up email with my contact information. But hopefully I gave you all a good overview of how I built my personal brand and how you all can do it too. So thanks for attending. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see y'all soon.